Okay, let's work on editing ideas. So I want the user to be able to click this, edit idea, and have something pop up that allows them to edit their idea. So I want it to look similar to the Laracast forum. So this is pretty much the same thing as editing. And you can see a modal here that pops up from the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's going to look similar to the create idea form, maybe a bit wider, and have it show up somewhere here in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to make use of the Tailwind UI modal and modify that. And there is a free modal here, which we'll make use of. So let's explore the preview. Let's look for modals. And let's grab the first one here, which you can see. Okay, so let's grab the code. And I'm going to put it in the show blade. So this is the view for showing an idea. And that's pretty much this entire view right here. And this is the Livewire component. So we'll put it right underneath it like this. So let's just paste it in and see if it actually works. Okay, that's the modal code from Tailwind UI. And there it is. So let's just modify this so it shows up on the bottom and shows a form like this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is extract it to a Livewire component, because we know later on that we're going to use Livewire to edit the idea. So PHP artisan Livewire make, let's call it edit idea. Okay, and let's go into that, edit idea, and let's paste that into here. Okay, let's remove it from here. So let's just undo, and we can do Livewire edit idea. And eventually we're going to have to pass in the idea, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Okay, and this should be the same, and it is. Okay, so let's just modify the CSS for this. So back into here, edit idea. Let's get rid of this comment here. Okay, and this first div is fine. And next I'm going to get rid of these. Don't need those for our modal. And these comments are for how to do the transition. And we'll do that in the next video when we're working with Alpine. So this is the div that has sort of the gray background. You can see BG opacity 75 here. So let's see if I change it to green. Let's see if it changes the color of the background. And it does. And you can see it's on the bottom now after the few changes that we made. So let's continue working on this. Put it back to gray 500. Okay. And we don't need this because it's not centered. And this is the actual modal here. So I'm going to name it here. Say modal. And I don't think I need these classes. And I want the rounded corners just to be on the top. So it looks like it's coming in from the bottom. So let's remove these two rounded corners here. So we can do rounded top left extra large and rounded top right extra large. Okay. And I don't need this text left. Don't need the shadow here. And I'm going to get rid of some of these queries, media queries. And I'll just put a padding here. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, let's get rid of this debug bar here so it doesn't get in the way. And I believe everything in here is the modal contents. So let's just verify that. Okay, and we don't need this bottom section as well because we have these buttons here already. So let's get rid of that. So I believe it's this section here. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab the markup from the create idea form and then put it in here. So let's go to create idea and let's look for the form here. And let's just grab everything and see if it renders okay. Okay. And let's put it in here. So let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of this. We don't need this success message. Let's just see if it renders correctly. Where's the form here? Okay, let's just re-indent that and let's see if it renders okay. And there's a few variables that aren't here. So it's the categories, which we didn't pass in. So we'll just hard code it for now. Let's get rid of this for each. and we'll just hard code 1 for now. So this would be category name, let's just say category 1. Okay, and this would be just the ID, so let's just put 1 in here. Okay, anything else? Okay, so that actually looks pretty good. Let's put a heading up here. So right above the form, let's say H3. Say edit idea. Let's give it some classes actually. Text center, text large, font medium, and text gray 900. Okay. Looks good. Let's also add some text underneath it. So let's add a p tag, text extra small, center as well. And let's make it text gray 500, and let's give it a margin top of 4. And I'm just going to say you have 1 hour to edit your idea from the time you created it. So we'll take a look at this when we work with policies, but I only want the user to be able to edit their idea up to 1 hour after creating it. So this will prevent the user from changing the idea entirely. Okay. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think I want a close button in the top right. And I think one of the modals in Tailwind UI does have an X button here, right here, but it's not in the free version, so we'll just do it manually. Let's say up here, my indentation is messed up because it's 2 spaces when I copied it, but that's fine. Let's say absolute top 0, right 0, and let's give some padding. PT4 and PR4. Okay. And let's put a button in here, and this would be the X button or the close button. So let's just put X for now and see if it's in the right place. And it is. Let's actually give it a color. So let's say text gray 400 and hover text gray 500. So this is going to be an SVG. So let's go ahead and grab that from Heroicons. So it should be the close button or X. Let's grab this one here. Copy SVG. Let's paste that in. Let's go ahead and re-indent this. Okay, and we don't need this. And let's see how this looks. Okay, so that looks pretty good actually. Let's see if the hover works. And it does. Does the tab work on it? It does. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Tabs work on the other fields as well. Let's see if it works responsibly. So I'm going to open up DevTools. Let's open up this mobile view. And let's put this to the side for a second. And yeah, it looks like it does work or look okay in mobile view. Maybe some more line height for this. So let's see, try 6 maybe. That's too much. 4. Okay. Not sure if that even did anything. Let's try 5. And maybe let's put some left and right padding on it. So let's say PX 6 or 8. Okay, that looks better. So yeah, a few more things here. I am going to hide this for now and work on some other things. So let's just say hidden for this entire thing. Okay, and I want to add the edit idea to this menu over here. So that would be an idea show, I believe. Say, yeah, here are the list items. So this should be an idea. So let's change it to idea. And let's add, I'm going to move this up actually. And I'm going to add one for edit idea. Okay, so let's change this to edit idea. Okay. And as we click this, we want the modal to pop up, and we'll work on that in the next video. But I also want to make a small change here. So if you look at the hover state, when we hover over these, the button hovers as well. So we don't want that. So that's because in my markup, you'll see that the UL right here is within the button. So let's move that. So let's see here. So this div is the badge, which is the first flex item right here. And then the second flex item is the button. So let's change that to a div and move the unordered list next to the button instead of within it. So let's say div, let's make it relative. Okay, let's wrap this entire thing. Okay, and then let's indent the button, and then we'll move the unordered list out of it. So it's no longer within the button, but beside it as a sibling. Okay, let's re-indent that, and let's see if that works. Okay, looks like it does. And now as we hover over the list items, the button no longer gets hovered. Let's make sure it still works for our responsive. And it looks like it does. Cool. So we have to do the same thing for this button over here. As you can see, the hover hovers the button as well. So let's fix that. So that would be in show, I believe. And I think I just have a few copy pasted comments in here. Yeah, so I have, what, 3? So I'll just get rid of 2 of them and re-add them later on after I fix it. Okay, so I removed the other 2 and there's only 1 left. Let's fix it the same way we just fixed the other one. So where's the button? Spam. Okay, so let's wrap this button in a div that's relative. Relative. Okay. Let's close that div out. Let's re-indent the button. Let's take the unordered list out. And let's put it as a sibling on the button. Okay, let's re-indent this. And see if it works. And it looks like it does. Cool. So let me just put the other 2 comments back. Actually, we don't need them. 1 is fine. We'll eventually get to the comments. Actually, I just wrapped it in a for each, so it does show 3 now. Okay. So this button actually does show up on the index page as well, but I'm going to get rid of it here as I just want it to show up on the show page. That's because that's the way Lyricasts work as well. So as you see on the index page, there is no 3 buttons for the options, but if we go into it, you'll see it down here. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and then we can finish off the video. So that would be in the ideas show, I believe, or ideas index. Yep. And let's look for the button. Sorry, it's actually the idea index. Let's look for the button here. So it's this one here. Let's get rid of it. And yeah, that should be good. Let's check the index page. Should be gone. And we have more room here. Okay, so let's put that back so it shows the modal by default. So edit idea. Let's take the hidden out. And then we can make a commit here. Actually, before we do that, let me make sure that the scroll works for overflow Y at least. So I'm going to resize the browser here, and it does seem to work. So we can scroll the actual modal, and we can still scroll the page. And whenever I make modals manually, I always run into this issue, but the modal that Tailwind UI provides works great. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a commit here. Actually, before I make a commit, I'm just going to go behind the scenes and clean up the indentation here. Okay, indentation is fixed. Let's go ahead and make a commit. Again, episode 37, right? Yeah, git add, git commit, episode 37, edit idea CSS for modal.